Hey guys, in today's video, we are going to show you how we create our DIY Crested Gecko breeder boxes from start to finish.
Let's get started. We're going to start with ventilation holes. I know some people just use a hole saw, cut a big hole, glue a screen on there and call it good. I personally don't like that look. It's all personal preference. Whatever gets your animal adequate ventilation, that's going to be the best thing for them. I like to do this just a general soldering pin from Amazon, and I'm just going to punch holes, do the first line kind of measured out, and then go in between, do kind of a diamond pattern. I'm going to go ventilation all the way down to where we're going to put substrate on both ends. Usually I want to put like a nice textured background for them to climb on, and then I like to keep the front as a viewing so I can see through. And in no time at all, we got nice clean ventilation holes on both sides running the whole gamut. So next we'll start building the background and put in substrate and finish building it. All right, so next we got the bins outside drying with the foam and the cork board. So while we're waiting for those to dry, we're gonna do the lids. A little ventilation. I know people that have hundreds of geckos, this isn't gonna work for because they gotta stack them, so they put the vents in front. I went with these are just dryer vents that go on the outside of your house, and we're gonna put UVB lights, and it's better for the calcium absorption for our geckos. So we don't have hundreds of geckos yet, but starting out, we'd like to do this for better care of our geckos. And these fit right inside these 6-inch vent holes. And so I'm gonna use a hole saw, and this is 5.5 inches. So it'll cut out the plastic inside of here, and then it'll have exact, there won't be anything inhibiting the light getting into our geckos. So these will fit just like this. We'll silicone the bottom edges. So starting out, we gotta pick where we wanna go. Generally speaking, this lid's got this little notch in here from the factory. That's a pretty good aim hole. The way these hole saws work is it's got a drill bit, and then once it starts moving around, it starts cutting the hole in. So it kind of locks in your location. So this will sit like this, and what we'll do is we'll take that soldering tool that we had earlier to make the vent holes, and we'll take off all the rough edges, and then once we silicone this in place, it'll have nice ventilation and lights. And as you saw before, we have the ventilation holes. So this is mainly just to have good lighting inside there.
All right, guys, so we let this go ahead and dry overnight. It totally expanded more than we were expecting, but yes, I think it's gonna turn out great. So the next step we're gonna show you is how we carve and shape it, and then we'll go ahead and add some substrate.
And this is just a straight blade razor pocket knife. It'll just slice on through nice and easy, and then you can just peel as you go. Comes off super quick. So while making these female breeder boxes for our crested geckos, we've made a few mistakes, and simple mistakes, easy to fix mistakes. We wanted, as you can see, we put these holes, we want substrate down here in the bottom 2 inches. And if you could see that, I have foam all the way going to the bottom. And we learned from that mistake and started higher. But as you can see with this one, it expanded a lot more than we anticipated. So it still covered pretty much to the bottom. So we're gonna have to cut that out. And we tried to make a kind of a peak with our bark inside there, and it also expanded more than we anticipated, which isn't a bad thing. We'll just put silicone and substrate in between. Not a huge thing that we're gonna fix. But as I was carving this out, and since this is a plastic bin, you could see that this is already popping off the back. We're gonna remedy this mistake by simply putting silicone in the back, and then we're gonna re-stick this foam piece in here because we like the contour of it. Kind of gives a good background to it. As we're going through this and where we want to put in PVC or pool noodles for climbing and jumping spots and stuff like that, it'll also help secure it to the side so it doesn't fall over while our gecko is climbing on the backside and enjoying its enclosure. Even though for our long-term goals, this isn't probably what we're going to end up doing. This has been a fun project thus far, and we're going to continue to do this for our first starting breeders, just as a learning experience for us. All right, so let's dive into continuing to cut these down. We'll make these fixes, taking out the bottom 2 inches. We'll take this completely off and add the silicone in the back. So we're gonna dive into that next. The silicone. And as with using any adhesives, this foam, silicone, super glue, any adhesive, make sure you put on disposable gloves because once it gets on your skin, it is a pain to get off and you'll have it there for weeks.
Because he doesn't know from experience.
Yeah, it was just last week. I glued all 3 of my fingers together with super glue. I was dunking my fingers into hot water for 15 minutes just to get them separated. And then it took me a week to get off the super glue off my skin. So I do, in fact, know from experience. We've put some weight so it has some pressure, so that way it tries to get as close as it can to the background. We'll wait for these to dry and then we'll move on to the next step of siliconing and putting substrate on top of all the foam and make it look more of a natural environment for them.
All right, guys, we are back. So we have let the bins dry overnight again, and today we have the kids with us to help us with the rest of the project. Are you guys excited?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. So they are gloved up. What we're going to have them do is fill in the tubs with our substrate. We're using just a peat moss blend because that's what we have, but you can use coconut fiber mixed with topsoil, organic topsoil. Got to make sure everything's chemical free. This is just what we have on hand and what we use in our other enclosures. So let's get filling these tub, guys, and then we'll decorate and add the leaves.
Yeah.
Lily, you gonna help with that?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's fill in the tubs. Go ahead, guys.
And while they're filling in the tubs, so what I'm gonna be doing is we're gonna use these grates on top, so when the females try to lay eggs, they can't bury them in the substrate, they'll lay in the lay boxes. So I'm gonna cut these to size while they're filling up the substrate.
Xander, what is in the box that you're holding?
Leaves.
So we are gonna use the leaves to hold in humidity that is in the substrate, and it is also the primary food source for our isopods that we're gonna be adding. Those isopods are gonna be eating and cleaning up all the poop. Pretty cool there for our cleanup crew.
Now we're gonna decorate it even more with fake leaves right aside here and pool noodles. This is a bag of moss to hold humidity. This is our lay box, guys. We're gonna put this into this. And then after that, you close it on the right way so it's not wrong. And it will correct you because on the wrong side, it won't go on, so it'll correct you.
Great job, Lily. Great job, Xander.
These grates are super nice, completely customizable to the size of terrarium you're putting them into. We're gonna put them into these lay boxes, and then we're also going to be putting them into all of our permanent terrariums too for our isopods.
Okay, we are back and ready to finalize these female crested gecko breeder boxes. The kids bailed on us, they got bored, and
hope you enjoyed that segment with them. It's their first time. Obviously, Lily's made for YouTube. Xander was pretty nervous, but he'll get used to it as we get further and further with these videos.
So we kind of finalized what we liked and what we didn't like as far as decorating. So we have one finished here, and we're going to show you exactly what we did on the other one. But the bones of it is, Toby, is it 1/2 inch PVC?
Yeah, so we have 1/2 inch PVC inside of noodle, and we're going to glue them down so they don't spin. And we have command strips that hook them to the side, because I feel like command strips are more secure than suction cups. And we put some greenage poked into the foam, and then we have this plastic grate, which was super customizable. I could cut the corners out to curve with the bins, and it stays on top of the leaves, which is the food for the isopods. And they all clip together, so they all kind of become one unit inside there. And then we put our lay bin in the corner. And so they have 2 climbing areas. They have a full back wall for climbing, good coverage, good greenery.
And it looks great.
I think it looks amazing.
Let's show them what we did.
So step 1, what I did was I took my grinder, which has a diamond plate cutting wheel on it, and used safety glasses and gloves, of course, and cut these to the size that we wanted to. We're gonna do one angled, one straight across. The important thing to know is, if you're gonna do angled, you wanna go just the exact width of your bin, because when it's angled, it'll leave a little bit of a gap. So you'll cut a hole into the foam, poke it into the foam, it'll leave just enough gap to put the command hook inside the hole we're gonna drill with a regular drill. And then with the straight across one, obviously you wanna go a little short. So that way you have a little bit of a gap for that command hook.
We'll show you, these slip inside perfectly. Your generic, we got these literally from the dollar store, the pool noodles, and your 1 inch PVC fits perfectly inside of those.
And it's relatively tight already.
So nice and grippy for their feet. They're not gonna slip off. Great texture, and it looks pretty awesome. All right, let's drill these holes.
All right.
Okay, those climbing ledges are secured. Last step here is to just add greenery, and Toby is literally, he's just gonna jam it into that foam and it sticks.
The hydration system. So we, in Colorado, aren't very humid. It's very dry here. So we either gotta sit there and spray them at least twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, depending on the time of season. Or what we've done with our permanent enclosures is bought these reptile humidifier misting systems. We've had them in our other 2 permanent enclosures upstairs, and they work amazing. You set how many seconds you want it to run, you set how many hours in between run cycles, and it automatically does it. We'll always have a thermometer that will have the percentage of humidity and the temperature in it. So that way we can constantly monitor and make sure they have the best possible environment.
After that is done, the last thing is to add our ice pods for our cleaning crew. So we're trying something new with these breeder bins. They're gonna be like semi-bioactive. They're bioactive, just no live plants. So we're gonna have the cleanup crew. That's why we put the crates to keep the females out of the substrate so that they lay in the lay box, not in the substrate. So it's easy to retrieve those eggs when it's time. And I think it's looking great.
I think it looks amazing.
I'm gonna be so happy in it. So we will finish up with the drilling holes for the hydration for the misters.
Yep.
And let's add the isopods, and we are all done.
And then
So what I have here is one of our 3D printed tools. This is a Dremel tool. And after we drilled the hole through the middle for our light vent, or light screen, it's pretty rough and jaggedy, just from that getting cut through. So I just use the Dremel tool to clean those edges up, and it makes it smooth as butter.
Want to do that. So we're gonna silicone this onto our lid. So our lid is done for the light. And while I'm doing that, Desiree's gonna, you want me to introduce the isopods or you want to do it?
Yeah, I'll throw those in there. So we just have the powder mix.
So that's about as smooth as butter.
Go ahead and add these guys in there.
And we'll just be using the same silicone we used for the backstop yesterday is what we'll be using to attach this vent onto the top for the light. And this will sit just like this.